Coach Craig Sports. Looks like we're lagging just a little bit here to start, but this is the MLB DFS Core Pick video, Core Pick live stream for today, Friday, August 18th. Excuse me, almost going down. We'll do a recap of yesterday's picks, see how they could be these games. It is a believe a base in total. Then we're talk about like core five history plus passes matchups. A little bit of there every once in a while, but just to that, and then we'll go over to the YouTube community tab, look at the cheat sheet, and talk about the GP team stack. That cheat sheet is 100% free. It's up on Facebook, it's up on Twitter, it's up on YouTube community tab. Be sure to check that out as you as you are doing more hitter match. For all the fish, here's if I said $9,400 at 34 points. Did ultimately end up giving him end up in the first overall and that and series 634 and there's half total bases. Unfortunately, it was 1 for 5 yesterday, so he didn't really help us for DFS. He didn't help us for a prop. Was unfortunate there. So ultimately, did end up being a miss on yesterday's slate. And then the initial core pick that I kept did ultimately end up being a push that hurts $200 and being the overall out on yesterday's slate. So not big slate. And I'm trying to remember who it was now at this point in time. I can't even think. Kerry Carpenter, that game got rained out. So ultimately ended up switching over to Tommy Pham at $2,900. Got to 22.2 points. He was a hit in the second overall outfielder on yesterday's slate. And then we had Ketel Marte at second base, who ultimately did not end up starting. So it did say to go to utilities behind Paul Goldschmidt, obviously, but they're at 25.2 points overall first baseman on the slate. So, slate overall. Up here in this screen, get over to RotoWire and bring up that weather report for today. So haven't really too much, so we're just going to kind of go game by game at this point in time. Like I said, there's 12 games in total, so bear with me as this could take a little bit of time. But we're going to go up to the very top. So the first 3 games are not on the slate. Boston and New York is the first game that we're actually looking at. 12% chance to rain there. It's nothing too major. If it changes throughout the day, we'll leave it down in the comments. Washington, no chance to rain at this point in time for them. And the Phillies, Giants, and Atlanta, 0% Minnesota and Pittsburgh in Minnesota, no chance to rain there. Chance to rain in St. Louis between along Colorado, 33% chance of rain might be the biggest one today. Obviously, Colorado weather can change kind of. Once again, so not too great. So if anything does majorly change, we'll leave in the comments below. Then also This page will get over to about core 5 hitters that I do have for today. Here's the pitcher. And here they're also doesn't know, and it looks like they're relying pretty bad. So just gonna give it up. I things like do bad is I will stay so that was whatever. Here we go. Kyle Gibbs at the teacher position. Go obviously one of those. This is pretty history versus them in the past. 38 points versus them. This now I'm not sure what I really apologize for that. Not sure why it's so bad at this point in time. Yeah, don't even want to load anything at this point. So do apologize for that once again, but Kyle Gibson definitely going to be somebody that's in so there's pretty big Zach Thompson is making a start for them. Not sure how deep he's going to pitch in the Angels. Thompson in the past, he has hit at least one hit in his last five. He came back to his two most recent games. Pretty strong upside for Pillow today. Year in total, he's going to break but 3,791 RBIs at 50 points on the season, so pretty strong. It's not games he's had actually one hit all of them, but that game happened. $3,500 average over 11 fantasy points on the season. He has 23 runs received. See who is for the New York Mets today. So some pretty strong history. Yeah, what I've done on 10 before 25 before points per game at $3,500. You know, probably 10, 11, 12 game hitting prior to that. So it's been pretty hot as of late, minus a couple games. 3 out of the last 4 games haven't been as great, but prior to that, had some pretty good history. So do you like that in his recent history, like the history in the past versus Joey Lucchesi, who is the pitcher for the Mets today. Then we're going to move down to the outfield. So the first is in his career. On the season in totality, we got 249 average, 18 home runs, 57 RBIs, averaging just under 9 fantasy points per game at $2,800. Pretty nice bounce back year for Eddie Rosario so far. Guy that does hit right-handed pitching better since he is a left-handed batter. And if what you look at what he's kind of done as of late, you know, there's a little bit of hit or miss to it, but he's had at least one hit out of in 7 out of his last 9 games. So been pretty good as of late. Like the matchup today versus Alex Cobb. He's one of the Braves hitters that has a decent amount of history versus him and some pretty good history at that. And then last but not least, we're going to go over to Nick Castellanos at $3,200. He is averaging just under 11 fantasy points per game on the season. He is 3 for 6 versus Johan Adon, who is the projected starter for the Washington Nationals today, making like his 5th start of the season. But Castellanos, 278 average, 20 home runs, 74 RBIs on the season. If you look at what he's done lately, it's a little bit more hit or miss. There was a 2-hit game yesterday, a couple overs there. And then prior to that, you know, he had like a 12-game hitting streak going on. So do like him quite a bit once again today. Obviously, you'll see with the hitters today, they're not all on the same team or nothing else like that. So if you're playing GPPs, go after your stacks and stuff still. If you want to play one of these guys as kind of a one-off, does make some sense. Mixing and matching at that pitcher position is going to make a lot of sense. Once again, whether you're paying up at the top end for Spencer Strider or Pablo Lopez, whether you're paying up in the middle or paying in the middle for a guy like Kyle Gibson, or paying down to like a Bryce Miller or Andrew Heaney on tonight's slate overall. Some viable pitching options out there, some guys that we probably don't want to play that we're going to want to stack some offenses against. A good day to mix and match overall. But with that being said, we're going to stop sharing this screen. We'll get over to the YouTube community tab and talk about my top GPP picks for today. So let me get that brought up. Once in the spreadsheet or the cheat sheet is 100% free. It's up on Facebook, it's up on Twitter, it's up on the YouTube community tab. So definitely be sure to check out. The first one I have is the Phillies. They're going against E for the Nationals today. There's an history there. It's not a long, extensive history or anything else like that, but still like them quite a bit. We got the White Sox if that game ultimately ends up going off against Peter Lambert pitching for the Colorado Rockies today. No history there in the past, but does look like a pretty strong matchup. And then we got the Tampa Bay Rays going against Tyler Anderson. Was like the only guy that actually faced him in the past, but he's on the IL at this point in time. But still like that Rays lineup quite a bit. And then the Padres going against Brandon Pfaadt. Not too much history there. They did face him in the most recent start, but has some pretty strong upside. He has not pitched too well in the majors, even though he was a pretty high-end prospect. But with that being said, that's kind of what I have in terms of MLB DFS Core Picks, the GPP top stacks for today, the recap, and the weather report. If anything does majorly change throughout the day, we'll leave it down in the comments, whether it's an update to my core, whether it's an update to the weather, or the starting lineups. That all will be out. So make sure you're checking up on that as we do get closer to lock. Also, be sure to let me know your favorite play on tonight's slate, whether it's someone for my core 5 picks, whether it's someone for my top GPP stacks, or whether it's a completely different player you guys think I'm definitely interested in. Back to you as quickly as possible. But with that being said, if you are brand new to my channel, checking out for the very first time, or have yet to subscribe, please consider doing so. I definitely would appreciate it. Helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports, which is one that's truly for you. Friday, we got CFL DFS videos going up once a week, so that is typically on Wednesday. If that's something you're into, definitely be sure to check that out. That's on the DraftKings side. Being said, that's all that I truly have at this point in time. Hopefully each and every one of you enjoyed the and information as we're moving along through the day that helps you build out your lineups for tonight. But with all the tonight.